Now moving ahead, as I announced earlier, we have a talk by Dr. P.K. Chakraborty sir on the topic Biostimulant Enabling One Health Needs and Enabling Policy Support. And I would like to tell you brief about our esteemed speaker. Dr. Chakraborty is the former member of Plant Sciences Department at ASRB DARE Government of India and former ADG at Plant Protection and Biosafety at ICAR, and with international research experience in the USA, he is acclaimed for his work in molecular pathology, development of diagnostic kits, and transgenic cotton. So please give him a big round of applause and welcome him on the stage, Dr. P.K. Chakraborty.
Good afternoon, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, and all the experts who have come, and mostly agro input manufacturers association and the industries who are really working great, and the work which they are doing on biologicals are the need of the hour, because at this time, whenever the pesticide people, when they come, they stand before some of the meetings, they will find Prime Minister giving some kind of maybe promotion for the biologicals. Natural farming, 3,000 crores or 2,500 crores have been given, and such and natural farming, organic farming. But all of these farmings, at least natural farming and organic farming, it is at the at this stage, present stage, it does not have any go forward or further unless the biologicals are brought for the tools, for use in the tools. But I will not say that organic is the panacea for all problems in the country, because the country has attained food security after a long struggle. And then while doing that, it is always good for the country to have a certain area marked, because not more than 10% of the area should be used for this natural farming or this kind of farming. But there has to be an integrated management, pest management, what we call, which uses all the available technologies. That includes cultural technology, that includes biological technologies, host resistance, and then genomic technologies, and finally all those things, and pesticides. Because pesticides now, whenever there is some minister or at that level in public sector, so those who are talking about pesticides, they think that they are doing something injustice, or they are doing something which is not palatable by many people. But then let me tell you, without pesticide also, we cannot do anything. This is just a hearsay. In India, we have seen organic crops, and I had a program called Monitoring Pesticide Residue at National Level, and that was created by Government of India, and still it is continuing from 2005 onwards, just to see that whether we have pesticides, residues, or anything. समीर जी कुछ बोल रहे थे? So when we used to draw some of these organic crops, organically grown crop, organically certified by NPOP, we found that they also had been, there was a lot of pesticides had been used on them. So this is not the way our agriculture should go. There should be some kind of transparency. People register under natural farming, but then in the name of natural farming, nobody sees whether it was naturally grown or whether it was organically grown. Very difficult thing. And I myself have tried to see a natural farmer, because they get some kind of incentivization. They use pesticides, they use chemical. So everything goes that. So I suggest when this natural farming and organic farming, they are getting some kind of premium prices or incentivization, there the evaluation must be done whether it was no chemical was used or no pesticide was used in this. Because otherwise we are kind of fooling the government also, and we are telling it is naturally grown, but it has that. So I suggested to the government to see some terminal residue program should be established so as to a person who claims it is a organic or is a natural farming, so pesticide or terminal residue for chemical estimation should be there. So as we go further, now that was out of the context because it is, I deal with plant protection at all kind of levels, and these are the tools which we found. And of course, biostimulants is one of the latest tool without which I don't think whatever organic or natural we will be able to grow, that will not be a possibility. And because ultimately European Union says that if today Europe goes all organic, all natural, then it has to produce 50% more food than what they are producing now, if it is brought into under the organic cropping or natural farming. So in that case, they have to use another 35% of the area under the cultivation to meet today's requirement. So we need to see, Sri Lanka also tried to do only organic. Our Sikkim state also have been declared as organic. But then we have to see that we cannot compromise with the food security. But these are the tools when applied in combination, they are definitely going to revolutionizing the crop production, productivity, quality, and whatever is there. So what I am telling is now biostimulant, they enable One Health program, because this is a very important program when nowadays people are not going or treating animal alone or treating plants alone or human alone or environment alone. So they are not doing, what the government wants is from the very basic, there should be One Health program, because our all agricultural operations should be in such a way that we use maximum of biostimulants or these biologicals and all those things, and so that there is a complete food cycle when those crops are eaten by our animals, and then we we are meat eating, or maybe when you are consuming milk, that comes to us, and there are certain ways and reasons why FAO, UNO, they have introduced this One Health program, so that we are at the same time with our all operations, the entire environment is kept healthy. So that is the need for that, purpose of that. Next. Can I manipulate this? Yeah. So this is the concept of One Health. Nobody now, in few years to come, and UN Sustainable Development Goal, you know, there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and most of them are related. They will, if they are followed, and which we have to follow, it seems, in due course of time, because India too is a signatory on that. So this is a program where we have to start from the nature, and ultimately we have to protect everything. So One Health is an integrated approach which aims at sustainable balance. Means overuse of pesticides will be detrimental. It will kill the eco-friendly or insects or fungus or whatever. So similarly, we have to have all these, we have to optimize in such a way, because everybody has their own innate immunity. Plant also has their innate immunity, and it emphasizes the health of humans, domestic and wild animals. Plants at the ecosystem are closely linked and interdependent, because the food cycle is there, so they are all totally dependent. And the approach has been developed by multiple organizations. This was way back in 2004, World Health Organization, and they had created this. and now they are being followed at a length, and every activity is going towards One Health. Uh, इसको थोड़ा सा उस तरफ आँख में आ रहा है। ये इसी से है ना? इधर से, इससे ना? So why, what is the origin of One Health? This is relevant in today's context. One Health has come in today's context, and this is due to increase. इस लाइट को थोड़ा सा, it's okay. No. So this is government has seen now, and scientists have seen that there is a increased infestation zoonotic diseases, means the disease which pass through the animals and finally come to human also. So this is, for this they have realized now we should be starting healthy and gap based our agriculture from starting from the seeds or starting from the soil health, and then we should go further. Climate change impact is another reason why this kind of zoonotic diseases are coming. Earlier, just like because temperature in the country, fall armyworm came. Every year some invasive pest comes which were not used to exist in the country, but subsequently they enter from through travels, international engagement which is coming together in a big way. So all these things, they help to bring some of the, now the fall armyworm which came, which was there in the US, because it's a pest which is Helicoverpa fujiperda. So what happened was, it is coming on maize. So it used to be restricted in United States, where the temperature was, it was more or less cool, and this insect was there in that cool. From there, with the rampant export of food from US to Africa, so they started coming slowly in Africa, and as the climate is increasing, temperature is increasing, they started becoming acclimatized there. And from there, it suddenly entered in India in 2016. And the next progenies are more of this tropical temperature bearing those. So these are also coming, and because the climate change also impact. Antimicrobial resistance. India has turned out to be the highest resistance. We have, Indians are already resistant to 290 antibiotics. So that is the way, because it is readily available in the shelf, and we just go, even we don't have to get a prescription from doctor. As I know my ailment, I can buy some of the antibiotics. So this, all through these things go even for the animals, and ultimately we are already exposed to undesired level of antibiotics. And this was mostly discovered when corona was there, when Indians were found to be most resistant or having resilience against the antibiotics, which are not there in the country also at the moment. It's not registered in the country, but when they tested there, they found that the toughest of the antibiotics were not controlling disease in India. So antimicrobial resistance is also one of the objectives why this One Health system has been thought over. And global interconnectedness, this I already said, traveling has increased, all transport, travel, and with the increased globalization of the country, there is a free movement of crop materials, and that's why if we see that 85% of all the pests and pathogens have come from other countries. India was not having those. But initially when it came to India, and they get acclimatized. The way we say that everybody finds India is a very good country, and so उसी तरह से disease भी जब आते हैं यहाँ से वापस नहीं जाता कोई बाहर, and there is no system of means evicting out of the country, because other countries, Australia, New Zealand, they say they cannot afford to lose more than 5% of their crop due to pests and diseases. But in India, we are losing 20 to 40% of the this crops because of the pests and diseases. So this is the same thing which I had said, that by enhancing, how it is related to biostimulants. Because One Health system, the major approach is that we have to use biologicals, we have to cut down onto the use of pesticides, we have to follow good agriculture practice, we have to build up soil health, because all the microbiome or microbiota which are there, they are playing heavy role. And it is very good, in fact, if you see, means I was associated as Assistant Director General of ICAR. I was of crop protection, plant protection, that was, and biosafety, plant protection and biosafety. So there's one institute called AIM. There are 5 institutes under that. In the ICR, 113 institutes are there, out of which 5 are plant protection institutes. One is NBA-IM, National Bureau of Agriculturally Important Microbes. The other one is NBAIR, National Bureau of Agriculturally Important Insects, which is there in Bangalore. One is National Institute of Biotic Stress Management in Raipur. So, and one is Central IPM Institute in New Delhi. So these are there, and I saw that biostimulants, they have a good collection of 600, some 72 or now 6,072 or more of those microbes they have. And they have microbes like Phytophthora, like this even biostimulant forming microbes like biopesticides, trichoderma and all these things at a temperature of hot spring, which is 100, above 100, there also some of them, they survive. That is, and then they also have surveyed the Antarctic, and they have found sub-zero, there also certain bacteria, certain of these microbes, they are there. That means what does it indicate? They have certain genes which can let them grow into warmer temperature. So now if that particular gene is taken and put into our crops which are specifically grown in temperate region, so they will be, and it can be grown in the this tropical region also, because that gene is having a potential to protect them. So that's why biological have every kind of gene, and they are called a powerhouse of the reservoirs of these all different properties. So in countries like cold countries, there is a injury by freezing injury which happens, because whatever the water material remains in the plant, they become ice, and then the cells break and they die. So there that they are called ice nucleation, but in that case they have found certain such kind of things. If we put, they will be living there also under colder conditions, the organisms from micro. So that has been seen that many of the microbes, there had been confusion among the microbes. People say these microbes are biofertilizers, these microbes are biostimulants, and these microbes are biopesticides. The same organism can be biopesticide as well as biostimulant. It can serve both the functions. So there is some kind of gray area at the moment to differentiate those. It depends upon means when you claim a microbe to be biopesticidal, means it is able to cause control disease or pest, then you find that you have to go through a very long system of toxicological test and all those things. But biofertilizers, no toxicity is required. Those microbes for which rhizobium and those kind of azotobacter, which provides food to the, so for that no pesticides or no toxicological test needs to be done. And now in between came these biostimulants which are neither pesticidal property, which are not, if you spray, they won't kill any pest or disease, nor it is nutritional providing or nutrition providing. It is a midway between, it stimulates the plant own innate immunity when it interacts, or it also increases the abiotic stress tolerance. So, and indirectly biotic stress tolerance also it does by the chemical changes, by stimulation of the metabolic pathways which are there in the plants or any system. So, usko बढ़ाते हुए, जैसे हम लोग कोरोना के टाइम में we used to take giloy and all those things. Those are biostimulants. Those if you eat, it will not kill the virus through which it starts, but ultimately it will stimulate your body to become most tolerant to those kind of. So they are, so those which are indirectly used in those abiotic and biotic stresses or increase in good food quality, grape quality. I just attended one meeting in the morning there in the Grape Institute, which is also going on, NRCG with so in there we have seen how biostimulants have now started revolutionizing the growth. I was for 26 years working as a scientist in Cotton Research Institute in Nagpur, and they called me for a Lifetime Achievement Award recently in Bombay, and I was asked to give a talk on cotton, because most of the people from abroad and ICAC and all they came are mostly cotton producing people, and they know about NPK and they know this pesticides. Nobody discusses what is biostimulant. And when I explored the literature, I thought to give that as a lecture, biostimulant for cotton rejuvenation or cotton supremacy in the of India. So I found hundreds and hundreds of biostimulants, and on which published paper have been published in a very high rated journal, and they are there, but we in India, we do not know. So this kind of awareness needs to go, and there are so many things which tarnish the image or which doesn't allow our farmers to believe that it can work. So we need to have awareness in our all the entire country. We have 14 crore farm families and 6.5 lakh villages in the country, and out of which hardly 42% of the farmers, they are aware of these advanced technologies. It does not go to that, because 42% of the technologies are generated by publics, not even 42. I am from a public sector, but we do not produce even 40% of the technologies which are used in agriculture. 60% of the technologies are made by industries. They are bringing those industries which are novel in this produce, like biostimulants I am telling is one of them. So those are done, but 40% of those technologies which are coming from system, public sector system, and like the seeds of high volume crops, wheat, rice and paddy and all those kind of things. So they are made from, those varieties are developed in ICAR institutes and state agriculture universities. But the other high value seed, like your spices, condiments and all these things, for which India exports 4,000 million US dollar worth of spices to the globally, and it is the India is known as a spicy crown. So what I mean to say now, public sector alone cannot do anything. And this is a kind of misfortune for us in the public sector that we 50,000 scientists, we are in all, there are 731 KVKs, Krishi Vigyan Kendras, there are all these, there are 77 agricultural universities in the country, there are 113 ICR institute in the country agricultural. So we all together just work to disseminate only those 40% of the technology which are there in the hands of public. Whereas, so that's why there is a time now when government itself has come as a, and they want to come and they wanted that there should be PPP. PPP, this concept had been there for a very long time, but unfortunately again it was a kind of, we used to give a lip service. There was always a difference between public sector and government sector. They think that, so but now the time has come now when government has realized that 40% of the technologies we are disseminating to 42% of the farmers. Why not if 60% of this technology of the industry and 100% of the technologies are spread to 100% of the population of the farmers. So that is going to bring back the whatever glory or agricultural glory in the country and prosperity. So these things are done, and that is why how biostimulants and it influences One Health, because they are all, there is no toxicity, there is no other kind of things, they are all eco-friendly. And so with this is one of the tools like biopesticides, biofertilizer, this one and some other or farmyard manure, they are all an effort toward using this or promoting One Health program. So so biostimulants again, that the other day, yesterday I have already told, but then or Sameer ji, he asked me to make this presentation also here. So these are the strength, weakness, opportunities and threats of biostimulants, we can say. So if you see, it increases the sustainability to agriculture, it has a flexibility and adaptability. There are so many things are there. It can be, it has compatibility to integrated pest management. It can be there, and it does a very good. I have seen myself when we use some of these things, some of these in ICR institutes we tested, but none of the ICR scientists are aware of this. But I must congratulate you all for recognizing this as a tool and taking it in a long way, and the government wants to have enabling policies, but then again, what are the weakness? You see limited scientific consensus. Scientists, they do not believe that they can also be done. They can also be included in the agriculture for crop improvement. Crop improvement means yield and yield contributing traits. It is not only on yield. Sometimes it increases the, makes the good color, anthocyanin production and all it influences, and the color of the apple and all which are treated with that, they maybe production is not increasing, but the quality increases there. So lack of regulatory harmonization. No other country has also the fixed regulations for registration of biostimulants. But what we do, when we did this biostimulant, it was brought under registration in 2021. At that time, I was the chairman of that biostimulant committee, and at the behest of Planning Commission, they gave that responsibility to us in the ICR. And initial thing started with a very good motivation or motive. Which was developed, that let us regulate these biostimulants. Let us not be left it alone so that anybody is mixing with the pesticides and telling it's a bio. So government realized, because there was a huge amount of spurious worth crores of rupees in one of the states, and that came to the notice of the government, and they said, no, we cannot leave it alone. We have to have regulations for its use. Otherwise, there are so many fly-by-night operators who don't care about it, but simply in the name of biologicals, they will be doing. So, good companies, they welcomed this approach that it should come under regulation. So, but there is no harmonization of the thing which you feel is a very small thing, which is when we are assuring it should not be a toxicity, it should not have a toxicity, it should not have a pesticidal property. So then that means what is the harm? Ultimately, whatever it is, alginate or alginic seaweed or whatever, it is not going to kill anything. It is not going to affect any kind of biosafety. So then why this kind of hue and cry is there? Slowly and slowly it becomes a kind of policing device, or regulatory. Instead of regulatory, now it is policy. For regulatory, it is now going towards policing the things, where that Inspector Raj again develops and those kind of things there. So there are certain, and there are various modes of, unlike in case of pesticide, you know what is the, it is affecting cytoplasm, it's affecting plasma membrane, or it's affecting respiration system, or it's affecting, so but here there are innumerable number of mode of action where we cannot say why it is happening. But when I am applying, say, turmeric or some kind of thing, it is doing some job, but why it is, how that is being converted into value added products. So that's why this system has not come, and in fact India has that kind of regulations, and now other part of the world, many scientists approach us. So how do we do this? But many other things they are doing which we have not been allowed in our country for biostimulant. Like they mix micronutrients also. Suppose seaweed and then micronutrient, something they will add, so that is okay for them. But in India we say no synthesized thing should be there. But making the law too much stringent also defeats the purpose. Ultimately, people will be doing something. Now also, if it is a biopesticide and it has a plant growth regulating property also, earlier people used to use it for a biopesticide, and registration used to be a big long protocol. When biostimulant came, now they are not showing that it has a biopesticidal function, it has a biostimulant function. So now authorities, they cannot find, they will not go and check on their own that whether it kills the. So I am highlighting one of the property, the other property I am hiding. So the law is silent about it. अभी तक उसमें नहीं बना कि आप कोई किस तरह से देखें, कितने भी कानून बना दें, उसको जाके unless we have enough number, only 1% of people are in the government services. So हम उनके पास hands नहीं है, who will go and intercept? ऐसे उसमें इससे नहीं हो. उसी तरह से मैंने भी कुछ बताए थे, कुछ रूल्स नहीं होने चाहिए, जैसे लेबल क्लेम. पेस्टिसाइड के ऊपर जो लेबल क्लेम होता है, तो इसमें बायो स्टिमुलेंट्स के लिए मैं लेबल नहीं करने की ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि एनीवे किसान को तो अगर अच्छा होगा तभी लेगा वो, अदरवाइज आप फोर्स तो नहीं कर सकते उसको कि आप इसी को यूज़ करो. तो मैंने कहा कौन लेबल लेगा? हर क्रॉप में, सपोज भिंडी में किया आपने, उसी बायोस्टिमुलेंट को आप बैंगन में भी उसका कुछ इफेक्ट है, तो उसको अलग से पैसे दे के रजिस्ट्रेशन करो उसमें. तो ये चीज़ कोई नहीं करेगा, जबकि पेस्टिसाइड में करना पड़ता है, वो फिर भी नहीं करते. ऑल द इंटायर कंट्री में हमारे पास ऑफ लेबल यूज ऑफ पेस्टिसाइड इज 85%, विच आर नॉट रजिस्टर्ड किसानों को. बट इट्स ए नेसेसरी ईविल कि जिसको करना ही पड़ता है. किसान को हमारे देश में 554 क्रॉप है, स्पाइसेस से लेके फ्रूट्स तक, वेजिटेबल्स एवरीथिंग. तो 554 क्रॉप में अगर एक क्रॉप में पेस्टिसाइड रजिस्टर करने के लिए 1 करोड़ लगता है, कौन करेगा वही एक ही पेस्टिसाइड से को 554 क्रॉप इंटू 1 करोड़? सो विच इज़ नॉट पॉसिबल. वर्ल्ड ओवर नहीं होता ये. तो क्रॉप ग्रुपिंग करते हैं, तो वो भी हमने कर दिया. अभी हो सकता है आगे के कुछ दिनों में हम लोग भी 85% हमारा लेबल्ड यूज़ हो जाएगा, ऑफ लेबल क्योंकि ग्रुप के बेस में करेंगे तो उस तरह से हो सकता है। तो इसके ऊपर कौन लेबल लेगा? इसमें तो कोई टॉक्सिसिटी नहीं है। उसमें एक मुद्दा होता है कि एमआरएल बनाना होता है। अगर गेहूं में हम टेबुकोनाजोल यूज़ करते हैं, एक पेस्टिसाइड है जो भारत सरकार ने उसको मैंडेटरी किया हुआ है कि इसको करना ही है, क्योंकि लूज स्मट, फ्लैग स्मट एंड बंट, ये 3 बीमारियां हैं वीट के, जिसके ऊपर किसानों को कहा जाता है कि पेस्टिसाइड को कोट कर लीजिए और जो भी पैसा लगेगा गवर्नमेंट देगी उसका, मतलब उसका बिल रखिए आप और इंसेंटिवाइज। और उसका एमआरएल क्यों उसमें है कि वीट एक ऑन के अंदर छुपा रहता है, पहले तो ग्रेन, फिर उसको आप निकालो, उससे पेस्टिसाइड रेजिड्यू कम होता जाता है, फिर उसके बाद आप गरम कर रहे हैं रोटी बनाने से पहले, उसमें बाकी के रेजिड्यू भी जल जाते हैं या ख़त्म हो जाते हैं। लेकिन वही पेस्टिसाइड मैंने देखा एक किसान की जिसकी रोजी रोटी खाली धनिया था, क्योंकि हम बहुत एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं धनिया में, तो उनका खेत इट वाज ड्राइड विद अ डिजीज़ कॉल्ड स्टेम गॉल ऑफ कोरिएंडर, तो उसमें भी वही टेबुकोनाजोल से 100% कंट्रोल हो जाता है। लेकिन कंपनी ने उसको रजिस्टर नहीं किया। वो क्यों करेगा? वो कहेगा मैं तो 15 टन उसमें बेचता हूँ, गेहूं में बेचता हूँ, तो उसमें मेरे को 1 करोड़ दे के रजिस्ट्रेशन करना ठीक है। मैं धनिया में जो 1 क्विंटल भी नहीं बिकता मेरा। और किसान तो इतने समझदार हैं हमारे कंट्री के, उसके लिए लेबल और ऑफ लेबल कुछ नहीं है। वो जिस चीज़ से भी, अगर पॉइजन से भी ठीक हो जाता है वो वही यूज़ करेगा। तो और जो वीट के लिए उसको करना पड़ता है, फ्री में मिलता है, उसी में बचा के रखता है और उसको फिर धनिया में करते हैं। तो धनिया में एमआरएल बहुत स्ट्रिंजेंट होगा, जबकि वीट में क्योंकि देर आर सो मेनी डिग्रेडेशन चांसेस, वो बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट रहते हैं, उसका बड़ा रिलैक्स रहता है। तो धनिया में अगर वीट में अगर उसका मैक्सिमम रेजिड्यू लिमिट 5 ppm हो, तो इसमें 0.1 ppm भी नहीं होगा, क्योंकि इसमें वो आप कच्चा तोड़ के खा सकते हैं धनिया को, जबकि वीट में और उसमें ऐसा नहीं होता। तो इसलिए ये एमआरएल पेस्टिसाइड का अलग अलग होना चाहिए। लेकिन इसमें तो बेसिक फिलॉसफी वही था जो पेस्टिसाइड रजिस्ट्रेशन का। आप टमाटर तोड़िए और खा लीजिए, और कच्चा खाइए, या अंगूर में बहुत पेस्टिसाइड यूज़ होता है उसको खाइए। लेकिन एक वही पेस्टिसाइड अगर गेहूं में या किसी और में, करेला में हो या किसी में हो, तो उसको आपको पकाना पड़ता है, ये करता है, डिग्रेडेशन हो जाता है। तो इसलिए अलग अलग। लेकिन इसमें कोई एमआरएल का इशू है ही नहीं, फिर भी ग्रुप करने की जरूरत, इसमें पता नहीं लेबल करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है। सो सबसे बड़ा एक चैलेंज जो है अभी, बायोस्टिमुलेंट 15% क्यूमुलेटिव ग्रोथ के साथ बढ़ रहा है कंट्री में यूज़, पेस्टिसाइड का ग्रोथ 6 से 7% है। लेकिन ये इतने सारे बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस हैं, और मैं यहाँ पर हूँ जब, तो मैं आप लोगों से इससे भी सीखना चाहता हूँ, जानना चाहता हूँ कि और क्या चैलेंजेस आते हैं। क्योंकि जब कानून बनाए थे उस टाइम हमने करके नहीं देखा था। हमने कानून तो बना दिया कि इसको इतना ये टॉक्सिसिटी होना चाहिए, मतलब अर्थवर्म को नहीं मारना चाहिए, इसने ये करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए। लेकिन जब हम करने लगे तो हमें पता लगा कि ये जब लोगों ने रजिस्ट्रेशन करना शुरू किया ये 2021 के बाद, तो उसमें इतनी अड़चनें आई हैं, अभी आ भी रही हैं। 2500 एप्लीकेशंस हैं जिसमें अभी तक 345 के करीब उन्होंने छानबीन किया हुआ है उसको, फिर भी सभी का अप्रूवल अभी तक नहीं आया। G3 भी अभी अप्रूवल होना है, वो भी आया नहीं। तो ये बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट। तो ये सब चीज़ें जब फर्स्ट बैच के लोगों ने शुरू किया प्रोविजनल रजिस्ट्रेशन के बाद, जब प्रैक्टिस करना चाहा, तो ये सब चीज़ें आई बीच में कि कोई विटामिन जो इंसेक्टिसाइड शेड्यूल में आता है, अगर उसको यूज़ किया जाए तब भी आपको सेंट्रल इंसेक्टिसाइड बोर्ड एंड रजिस्ट्रेशन कमेटी अंडर इंसेक्टिसाइड एक्ट में आपको रजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा, जो बहुत स्ट्रिंजेंट है। लेकिन वही विटामिन, वही केमिकल, वही एल्कलॉइड दोनों में ही होता है। ग्रोथ रेगुलेटर्स हम कहते हैं, जैसे ग्रोथ रेगुलेटर को यूज़ किया, हम कहते हैं कि प्लांट में बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन ग्रोथ रेगुलेटर को उसमें भी डाला हुआ है, क्योंकि पेस्टिसाइड शेड्यूल में भी है। तो आप अगर बोलोगे कि इसका ये पेड़ों को, इसका पौधा बढ़ा देता है, बहुत जल्दी से बढ़ता है, तो पौधा को ये केमिकल तो नहीं बढ़ाएगा, उसका कोई पाथवे को एक्टिवेट करेगा जिससे वो बढ़ जाए। तो ठीक है। सो दीज आर ये चीज़ जो अभी तक है, जो मैं जानता हूँ, प्रोडक्ट्स ऑफ डुअल यूज़, उसमें भी जैसे ही वो पेस्टिसाइड वो आ जाता है कि ब्रासिनोलॉइड आपने यूज़ किया, या लेजिनेरिन जो सीवीड से निकलता है उसी का एक बनाया, तो वो पेस्टिसाइडल हो जाता है। एट सर्टन अबव सर्टन लिमिट वो पेस्टिसाइडल हो जाता है। 2,4-D जैसे है, वो ग्रोथ हार्मोन है, प्लांट के अंदर पौधा बच रहा है, प्लांट सपोर्ट करता है उसको ग्रोथ, लेकिन अगर 2,4-D की मात्रा कुछ ज़्यादा हो जाए तो वो वीडिसाइड बन जाता है। तो वी नीड टू फाइंड सर्टन लिमिट्स, ये मैंने अभी शुरू किया ये बात। और फिर ये फोर्टिफिकेशन विद माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट मैंने आपसे पहले भी बता दिया, कोई उसके न्यूट्रिएंट नहीं मिलाने देते। और क्रॉस स्पेसिफिक लेवलिंग, ये भी बात हो गई। पेस्टिसाइड कंटामिनेशन, रॉ मटेरियल में ही अगर आप नहीं यूज़ कर रहे हैं, अपने आप ही आ रहा है, तब भी इसका पीपीएम मतलब 0 पीपीएम कर दिया उन्होंने। तो इसको अब हमने किया, अभी तक 1 पीपीएम तो हो गया, 1 पीपीएम में बढ़ गया। तो बस इन सब चीज़ों से अभी हमें सरकार को ये बताना है कि और क्या क्या अड़चनें हैं, और धीरे धीरे सबको उसको किया जाएगा, क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली इससे किसानों की भलाई है और देश का जो अन्न पैदावार ये बढ़ेगा इससे। तो इसी के लिए गवर्नमेंट भी इसको इजीली रिजेक्ट नहीं कर रहा। वो आप लोगों को भी देख रहा है, हमें भी देख रहा है, आप क्या तथ्य देते हैं इसमें, ये क्या नकली को भी कैसे बचाएं, अगर छोड़ दे सब कुछ फिर नकली बनना शुरू हो जाएगा। तो ये सब एक मजबूरी में है, लेकिन इन डेज टू कम डेफिनेटली वी विल मेक इट वेरी वेरी सॉलिड, वेरी safe, and it will be one of the components of IPM. Thank you so much.